Ah yes, the military. The mightiest entity to exist in this world. Millions of infantry and thousands of divisions. There's also the Navy and Air Force working in coercion, but barely anyone uses planes. And of course, you can't forget about the slow but strong artillery and the fast and blitzy tanks. Whoa. But holy shit, some of these stuffs are just too OP. Frigates are nice counters to submarines, but in public games, your economy is just too strong. You can afford the better and bigger brother destroyers either way. And that's like the only thing we need to get out of the way before we begin the composition guide. But how can we clearly define what is the best way to set up your military? Well, we will use the word meta, the most efficient tactic available, or basically it's way too broken and fucking decimates every single city within its vicinity. We can begin with getting the military tab out of the way, since this will be deciding your future strategy throughout the game, and I will explain them more clearly as we go on. First of all, the groups. You really only need 3 groups. One for ground units, one for your navy, and one for your air force. This is because the generals only give bonuses to their specialization. So if you put an air force general on your ground units, it wouldn't give them the bonuses. You could also make one group for each area around the world, so like winter specialized tanks in Russia is one group, and arid specialized tanks in North Africa is another group. But that would require a lot of command power, so I would not recommend it until the late game, but that's boring stuff. You want to know about the doctrines, which is basically the composition, beginning with the aerial doctrines that most people don't even fucking touch, let alone the air force. Why? A single attacker can wipe out half a stack easily. It's so OP, and it barely costs anything, and it just decimates troops in waters. It's also very easy to choose which doctrine to get. Get air supremacy or strategic bombing. Get strategic bombing if you are very fucking rich and can spam bombers and doesn't care about invading, and choose air supremacy if you just wanna have an easy game. Because fighters defeat attackers and bombers. So if you have the strongest fighters, you will beat your enemy fighters too and easily get air supremacy, and can therefore spam the attackers and just keep the enemy planes out of sight. So you don't really need to worry about missing a few extra bonuses or cost reductions. The naval doctrines are also very simple to choose which one is the best. It's obviously capital fleet. Battleships beats destroyers by a lot, and destroyers really only beat submarines. Plus, it also gives bonuses to aircraft carriers, which we have established is so fucking OP, it should either be removed or nerfed down to oblivion. Submarine warfare can also be good when dealing with far superior enemies in terms of economic situation, so it would be better to snipe transport ships or battleships if you don't have a strong economy as your enemy. But enough about that. What is the best and most efficient land doctrine for your country? Which is basically why you are here. Well, it depends. The principle for deciding which land doctrine to utilize is very simple. First of all, get it immediately at the beginning, so don't get generals. The balanced doctrine, aka the one you start with, is actually quite good. It's very useful for everything, but it's not really particularly strong in any area. But I guess you can say being good at everything is a strength, so there's that. You mainly want to use the balanced doctrine if you want to do combined arms, hence the name, which is using both infantry and tanks. But this comes with its own demerits. Infantry is cheap, yes, but they generate a lot of war exhaustion and will quickly deplete your manpower pool. It doesn't help that the doctrine doesn't give any increases to manpower, so if you lose your infantry, it's game over. But you can also use tanks, which is going to be your main weapon for capturing key points like cannons, capitals, and building defensive lines, and have infantry reinforce them from behind. And you can also get a general at the beginning instead of wasting it on switching doctrine. Or you can just choose another doctrine for navy or aerial if you so desire. But what about specialization? Is it any good? Kinda. The 0.33% manpower is fucking horrendous. But on the other hand, the increase in infantry combatability is good, but I would not utilize this for longer games. It's really only good for emergencies like having no money and needing to quickly assemble a massive army. Because this doctrine basically forces you to use infantry instead of tanks because of the manpower increase. But you can use both of them, but I would not recommend it. Only for emergencies like emergency war fund. But what I would utilize is mass attack, my beloved. This doctrine was meant to be exploited and utilized. The potential of tank spam with this one is insane because of the manpower increase. Sure, the infantry training gets wrecked to say the least, but remember, this is a long game doctrine. You play this to get strong in the early game and get a fucking massive army in the late game. But remember, this is a long game doctrine. You would mainly be using tanks in the early game because of the stupid way consumer goods and electronics works, and you can also use that time to slowly train your infantry to be big and strong like the other ones. Sure, the other doctrines could do the same, but they do not have the added bonus of 2 times the manpower increase. So take that, balanced lifestyle. I prefer blitzkrieg and mutual destruction. Okay, so which one should you use for which ideology? I know I shat on communism a lot in my last video, but they have a lot of options. If they have a strong economy, and I mean really strong, you can go for mass attack and use tanks and train infantry with your massive manpower pool. But they can also go balanced or specialized and spam infantry because of their reduced war exhaustion gain. Couple that with their insane amounts of manpower and you can never go wrong. And fascism should obviously go for mass attack, cause tanks, minus 60% military upkeep and 2 times the manpower increase is a dangerous combination, and democracy should probably go mass attack too, because they have a strong economy, and please, for the love of God, stop sending millions of infantry through the ocean. You can do better than this. Wait, what's that noise? Some quick afterwards. I am not planning a 1K special if you're thinking that, but I am planning an end of the year special. And by the way, I'm also not dead. I've been gone for like 1 month, and I have an excuse. It's because I have no excuse that's my excuse. Exactly. You don't know what to say? I don't know what to say. We're both as confused. But anyways, I forgot to mention a lot, but I had to crunch this video because, you know, I've been gone for like a month. And anyways, I'm probably gonna disappear for like 1 month again due to me wanting to make the special video pretty long and very good. Also, I'm dead in the video. Goodbye.